Viewers, drop your location and your local time in the comments seriously. It's fun to see who's tuning in from where, and it'll make you feel like you're sitting in this rainy city with us. The rain is working overtime against the floor-to-ceiling windows of Daniel Whitmore's penthouse office. That steady, drumming percussion you only get in Seattle this time of year. 8-year-old Loveth is curled in the big leather chair that makes her look even smaller, tracing invisible swirls on her tablet screen. 6 months, half a year since she said a single word, and Daniel is starting to believe silence might have claimed her for good. The police officer's voice from that night still echoes the hat held low, the phrase drunk driver, hanging heavy, the gut-punch truth that his wife Rebecca would never come home. Loveth's world closed in after that, her voice evaporating into the kind of quiet that feels more like a locked door than peace. Even the latest child therapist, the third in a short, exhausting parade, had left an hour ago with that mix of pity and professional frustration. She can speak, Mr. Whitmore. She's choosing not to, Patricia had said, the way historians still argue whether ancient gladiators fought to the death or just until someone tapped out. It's all theory when you can't get inside the arena. Money, connections, Daniel's problem-solving streak, they mean nothing against a fortress of grief. The intercom crackles, and he cancels every meeting for the week. Not even a murmur from Loveth. She's wearing the yellow dress Rebecca bought her last Christmas. Too small now, but she refuses to wear anything else. Daniel kneels beside her, sees those brown eyes, sadness fused with emptiness, like she's already half gone. He whispers about missing mommy too, about still having each other, but her gaze slides away. So he makes a decision, more waiting for miracles in this glass and marble mausoleum. They're going out. He pitches a cafe on Pine Street. Cookies bigger than your head. Her fingers freeze for a heartbeat on the screen. Then she slips off the chair without a word. In the elevator mirror, they look like strangers who just happen to match same hair, same eyes, same invisible wall. Sweet Dreams Bakery glows against the gray afternoon, its yellow awning like a warm hand on a cold forehead. Inside, vanilla and cinnamon wrap around them. Sunflowers in vases, muffins lined up like disciplined little soldiers. Behind the counter, Sofia Rodriguez smiles, an apron dusted in flour, her eyes kind but scanning mouths instead of eyes. Daniel notices, curiosity sparking. The introductions are awkward. Loveth buries her face in his leg, and he takes the she's shy shortcut instead of telling the truth. Sophia brings menus and a coloring book, that small, thoughtful gesture that can break a crack into a fortress wall. Daniel orders cookies and hot chocolate. Sophia promises the biggest cookie in the place. And when she brings it, she signs as she speaks, her hands moving with practiced grace. Loveth watches, head tilted. Then Miracle, in microform, she lifts her own hands and tries to copy. Clumsy, hesitant, but it's the first thing she's initiated in 6 months. Daniel's heart just about slams out of his chest. Sophia leans in, offers to teach more, and Loveth actually nods. The fortress gate shifts on its hinges. From that afternoon on, Sweet Dreams becomes their unofficial second home. Every morning, Loveth sits straighter in her chair by the window, crayons abandoned for the thrill of learning new signs please. More, happy, cookie each one, shaping her small hands into something alive again. Sophie is patient, graceful, the kind of teacher who makes mistakes feel like part of the lesson. Daniel mostly just sits there in awe, watching his daughter's light flicker back on like an old neon sign that had been written off as broken. 2 weeks in, Loveth is mixing spoken words with signs as naturally as breathing. Daniel, who once thought the only language he'd ever have to master was corporate speak, now fumbles through finger positions, earning gentle correction from Sophia, her fingertips grazing his as she adjusts his hand for apple, explaining it's like biting your cheek. It's almost comical how such a small touch sends a warm rush up his arm. Loveth doesn't miss a beat. Do you like her like you liked Mommy? She asks one morning, stage whisper loud enough that Sophia could probably lip read it from across the bakery. Daniel sputters something about, it's complicated, but his daughter just nods sagely, like historians still argue whether Napoleon was short or just average for his time. She's already made up her mind. The first time Sophia invites them somewhere outside the bakery, it's to the Pike Place Market. Saturday morning, rare sunshine, making the waterfront look like it's auditioning for a travel brochure. Sophia wears a yellow sundress that could outshine the awning back at Sweet Dreams. Vendors know her by name. In both spoken hellos and quick, fluent signs, clearly a fixture here. Loveth samples blackberry blossom honey from Mr. Patterson, who calls her a young lady, and declares she has an excellent palate. Sophia leans in to whisper that this is her secret ingredient for cinnamon rolls. Tastes like sunshine. Daniel notices something else: how Sophia's philosophy about using the best ingredients applies to everything. She surrounds herself with good people the way some chefs insist on heirloom tomatoes. No compromise. And somewhere between the apples from Mrs. Chin's stand and the spice vendor's jars of Saigon cinnamon, Daniel realizes his daughter isn't the only one learning a new language here. Over lunch overlooking Elliott Bay, Loveth signs, "Sophia gives me honey happiness," and Daniel blurts that he feels the same. Sophia's cheeks turn the color of the strawberries they bought earlier, but she doesn't look away. That afternoon, the current between them hums, stronger still, unspoken, but no longer ignorable. By Monday morning, Daniel finds himself at the bakery early, Loveth still asleep in his arms, just to see Sophia before the rush. Over coffee, she asks about Rebecca. It's the first time in months he's been able to talk about his late wife without feeling like he's drowning. He tells Sophia she's the reason for that shift. She listens, her eyes soft, and when he finally admits he's starting to feel alive again, there's a look on her face that says she feels it too. That evening, Sophia texts him just the two of them, coffee after she closes. A walk around Green Lake under the gold-tinted dusk. On a bench by the water, she tells him something personal. She can't have children. Says it plainly, like she's reciting a recipe, but Daniel hears the weight under it. He takes her hands, tells her what Marcus, her ex, did was cruel, and that she's already given him more than she could imagine. She's given his daughter her voice back. Then, as natural as exhaling, he tells her he loves her. She says it back, tears shining, and it's not some Hollywood fireworks moment. It's steadier, deeper, like planting something you know will take root. Weeks blur into a rhythm of lessons, market trips, and the quiet kind of dating that comes with an 8-year-old chaperone. Loveth approves wholeheartedly, even adding conditions for the relationship. Sophia must attend her school play, join family movie nights, and teach Daddy to bake those famous cookies. Sophia accepts all terms with a laugh. 6 months later, the Sweet Dreams expansion is ready. Bigger space, open kitchen, a corner where Loveth now does homework, visual alert systems for deaf staff and customers. The grand opening draws half the city, and right in the middle of it, Daniel pulls out a velvet box and drops to one knee. "You saved my daughter's voice, and you saved my heart," he signs and says, asking Sophia to marry him. She says yes 3 times for emphasis while the whole cafe cheers. 1 year later, among tropical blooms at Volunteer Park Conservatory, vows are exchanged in both English and ASL. Loveth serves as flower girl and maid of honor, then stands with them for an adoption ceremony that makes official what they've all felt for months. They are a family. At the reception in the cafe, Daniel's toast thanks Sophia for teaching them the only language that really matters: love. As the night winds down, they steal a moment on the balcony. Sophia admits she wishes Rebecca could have been there. Daniel assures her she would have loved the woman who gave them their smile back. Below, Pine Street hums with its usual drizzle-lit bustle. But up here it's just the 3 of them, chaotic, wonderful, complete. Tomorrow will bring homework, pastry deliveries, board meetings, and probably burnt cookies from Daniel's practice batches. But tonight, they rest in the knowledge that they've built something solid out of the hardest soil. And maybe historians will argue forever about whether love at first sight exists, but standing here, Daniel knows this. Sometimes, love at first sight is even stronger. They sit together in the soft spill of cafe light, the day's noise fading into a low hum beyond the windows. Outside, rain threads silver lines across the glass, but inside, the air holds the faint sweetness of cinnamon and the warmth of 3 heartbeats steadying in sync. Conversation slows, words replaced by small to chase a hand on a shoulder, a thumb tracing lazy circles over knuckles, the kind of gestures that don't need translation. Loveth leans against Sophia, her eyelids drooping, the way children do when they've run all the miles of joy they can in one day. Daniel watches them, thinking about that first afternoon, how silence had felt like a verdict and how now it's just another note in the song they share. Some evenings are loud with laughter, some are quiet like this, but all of them feel like home. Plans will come. The next batch of recipes Sophia wants to try, the sign language workshop Daniel's thinking of funding, the family trip they promised to take. Life will be busy and imperfect and full, but in this moment, it's enough to sit here with the people who turned loss into something whole. Outside, Seattle keeps its rhythm fairy horns in the distance, a bus signed to a stop, footsteps splashing through puddles. Inside, the little family they become breathes easy. And as the last light slips away, Daniel's mind holds on to one simple truth, quiet but sure. Love speaks in 1,000 ways, and they are fluent in every single one.